Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we're going to be looking at a detail of Micah Bell that most players never noticed, but would have revealed from the very beginning of the game that he was the bad guy all along. And this is something I wish I had known when I first played Red Dead Redemption 2, because I was always kind of on the fence about Micah. Like, yeah, he was always a jerk, but for the most part, he really seemed harmless until, of course, you got until about Chapter 6 and found out that, he was obviously the rat. And then, of course, in the epilogue, he's obviously enemy number one. But for the most part of the game, you disliked Micah, but you always thought there was a bigger enemy, like the Pinkertons, or, trying to find the treasure or something like that. So in order to check out this feature that most players miss, we actually have to return to the first Red Dead Redemption game. And there's actually a special horse breed in Red Dead Redemption called the Dark Horse. Now, we don't know if the Dark Horse is an Arabian or if it's a Turkoman. It's just simply known as the Dark Horse. Now, the Dark Horse has a slick black body, white face and muzzle, and has blood red eyes. And its body is covered with the unexplained scars and wounds. And you can see it sort of scratched up and patched up as well. Now, while it has an average speed on par with most mid-tier horse breeds, the Dark Horse is notable for not losing speed if it runs off-road. Its health and stamina are also noted for being higher than most horse breeds, making it a durable mount in combat. Now, you might be wondering how you get a horse like this. Well, the Dark Horse is a unique horse breed that will only appear for John Marston if his honor drops to road agent. And if the player's honor rises to drifter, the horse will disappear. Now, should the player whistle while not having any other horse called, the Dark Horse will arrive as Marston's mount. And if it dies, the Dark Horse will respawn after an in-game day. And even when saved at a hitching post, this mount will not appear if the player's honor is too high. So essentially, the only way you can get this horse is if you have one of the lowest honor rankings in the entire game. So here's where we're going to start to see the connection to Micah Bell here. So Jack Marston and John Marston in the first Red Dead Redemption can get this horse, and the only way they can get it is if they're super terrible. Like, not just, kicking someone in the road, like literally going to an entire town, robbing all the shops, killing everyone. You have to be a horrible person in order to reach that level of dishonorable. In fact, you could almost even compare it to the actions of someone like Micah Bell. And this is where we start to draw our connections here, because the Dark Horse from Red Dead Redemption, I think, is the same horse that Micah Bell has in Red Dead Redemption 2, that we see him using throughout the entire story. Now, a little bit of background on Micah's horse. Micah's horse is a Missouri foxtrotter called Blaylock. So I guess that answers our question. The Dark Horse is technically a Missouri foxtrotter. It has a black body and white face, and it bears a striking resemblance to the Dark Horse from Red Dead Redemption, which again would only spawn if the player's honor was low. And this was almost certainly intentional given Micah's evil and dishonorable nature. And Micah has this horse throughout the entire story.
Where's John?
I tried.
He didn't make it. That patrol killed him. We had to run.
Come on, let's go before another patrol turns up.
Ha! Ha!
Abigail. I saved Jack. We hid, but they took Abigail.
Who did?
Agent Milton and his men took her to Van Horn to be put on a boat and tried for murder.
I am sorry to hear that.
We gotta let her go. John's, well, sorry, son. Without John, she's just bait. Got a bunch of money, Dutch. She's just a girl. They won't do nothing to her.
But
me and the boys know. We need to keep riding on this one, Dutch. You know it. Every man here knows
We
it.
just gonna let the boy be made an orphan? It ain't like that.
What is it like? I want to live, cowpoke. I still got the choice. Dutch, it's just a girl.
You're right. Micah, it pains me to say it, Arthur, but he's right.
Dutch!
Come on, boys.
Yeah!
Well, I guess that's that then. Well, maybe you're right. Just nervous. Let's not waste any more lives needlessly.
I ain't costing lives here. I'm saving them. What did you say? We had Pinkertons coming after us?
Because of Blackwater?
And Leviticus Cornwall and his private army. Then, who knows when this local hillbilly thing will come to a head? Can we really afford to be fighting on all these fronts? And O'Driscoll.
There is wisdom in that. I hope so, gentlemen, but like I said, I'm nervous.
Look, you ain't even going to be the one in danger. We'll get on over there, find a nice perch for you to settle into. You got that rifle, don't you?
Yeah.
So those were just a few examples right there of Micah riding and using his horse Blaylock. He's got it throughout the entire story. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, what about all the cuts and the scars on the dark horse? How come we don't see that on Micah's horse Blaylock? Well, remember that Red Dead Redemption 2 takes place in 1899. It's also kind of unclear for how long Micah has had Blaylock, probably a year or two before that. And Red Dead Redemption 2 takes place in 1911 to 1914. So that means that Blaylock would be pretty old by that point. Now, I don't know for how long horses are supposed to live, but I can imagine that being 11 to 12 to 14 years older, and if you had been on your own as sort of a desperado horse with no owner, you might pick up some cuts, scars, nicks, and bruises along the way. So that might be able to explain it there. And everything else seems to line up perfectly. The dark black body with the sort of white snout, and you've got the white hooves too. So all of it seems to match up. And I guess over time, he might have developed the dark blood eyes as well, or that might have just been a little detail added by Rockstar. But again, if you had known this from day one, you could have assumed that Micah would have been the bad guy all along. I mean, if it wasn't obvious enough by the things he was doing in-game. And if you're looking for another connection, remember earlier we said that the Dark Horse was a really good steed for combat? Well, guess what Micah's biography says in the Red Dead Redemption 2 strategy guide? I'll go over all the important details. It says, a career criminal and hitman, wild, unpredictable, and something of a nihilist. He lives for the action and is great in a gunfight. So there's no denying that Micah, in the few missions you have with him, whenever there's a shootout going on, you want him on your side. He's got 2 pistols, he knows how to use them, and isn't afraid to take people out. So you can already see the connections there between the Dark Horse and Micah's character. And another reason we can assume that this is Micah's horse is we don't know what happens to Blaylock by the end of the story. I mean, we don't see him in the final mission of the game when Arthur and them are fighting on the cliff or fighting at the old camp. And we don't really see Blaylock at all because he's not featured in the final mission of the game, American Venom. So I think it's very safe to say that this is probably Micah's horse all along. And it wouldn't be shocking because Micah had such a profound impact on John Marston's life that if he eventually turned evil and dishonorable in Red Dead Redemption, that Micah's horse would end up finding him. And it's also interesting that that dark horse can't be purchased or bought. It's just simply summoned if they've been dishonorable enough. So again, really interesting stuff right there. Something you definitely might not have known about Micah Bell and John Marston, that connection right there, and how his horse might have given away his true intentions from day one. But I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Have you noticed anything else like this in Red Dead Redemption 2? whether it's a cool little Easter egg or a tiny little hint or a clue that might suggest some character isn't who they think they are, or might tell us a little bit more about them. You can let us know in the comments down below. If you guys did go to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest Red Dead Redemption and GTA videos that I'm doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.